And 10 years of compelling content right here on your simply the best frequency 103.5 FM. Good morning to you wherever you're listening to us from. Welcome to the Star Breakfast News on this special day as we celebrate a decade of excellence in broadcasting in Ghanaian media landscape. I am Nurein Abass and I am honored to bring you the bulletin this morning. And coming up this morning, Attorney General files appeal at Supreme Court to reverse Arthur Forson's and Jatpa's acquittal. Also coming up this morning, Vice President Bawumia promises to peg the value of the city to gold as Ghana gets a state-of-the-art gold refinery. And later in the bulletin this morning, we are celebrating 10 years of broadcasting excellence. Chief Executive Officer of EIB Network, Nathan Kwabena Edisi Anochi, envisions transformative journey for the Starr FM brand in the next decade, promising innovations that will redefine the media landscape as the nation or as the station officially marks its 10th anniversary today.
And the next 10 years where we're going is going to be epic. God is going to do amazing and awesome things in our lives.
We've got details of all these stories coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM, Star News, informed, in-depth, in touch.
Many thanks to you for choosing Star News. Now, the Office of the Attorney General has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court to reverse the judgment of the Court of Appeal that acquitted and discharged Minority Leader Dr. Kaisel Atuforsen and Richard Jatpa in the ambulance procurement case. The action filed stated, among other things, that the 2-1 majority decision erred in applying the rule on the standard of proof necessary to determine whether the accused should be called to answer the charges against them. The appeal, signed by the Director of Public Prosecution, Mrs. Yvonne Atakra Abuobisa, on behalf of the Attorney General, stated that the majority's finding that the letters of credit did not constitute a payment under the contract contradicts the evidence presented and is untenable. Atuforsen and Richard Jatpa were on 30th July, acquitted and discharged by the Court of Appeal by a majority 2-1 decision. But the Attorney General, dissatisfied with the decision, has filed an appeal to reverse their acquittal and discharge. We'll bring you update on this development in subsequent bulletins. Now, away from that, Vice President and NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has promised to peg the value of the cedi to gold if elected as president. According to the Vice President, the $5 million worth of gold bought under the Gold for Oil policy has helped in stabilizing the country's economy. Speaking at the commissioning of the Royal Ghana Gold Refinery, Dr. Bawumia further promised to reduce withholding tax for gold export from 1.5% to 1% if elected come 7th December. According to him, the state-of-the-art gold refinery will help add value to the country's gold currently being exported in the raw form.
If you look at what the governor told us, the Bank of Ghana, through the Gold Purchase Program, has bought thus far $5 billion worth of gold just in the last few years. $5 billion. This would, if we had not been operating this program, that means that $5 billion would not have been there, because this $5 billion is from local sources. It's not as a result of export, right? Can you just imagine Ghana without this $5 billion? Where would we have gotten the foreign exchange to make up? Just to get $3 billion from the IMF, look at what we have had to go through. We have been able to pick up $5 billion from the local economy using seed to buy this gold. Without this $5 billion, our economy would have been in deep trouble. Buying even fuel would have been a problem. You would have probably seen queues and shortage that other countries are experiencing. So this program has been really very, given our strategic intention.
You had Vice President and NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. Also, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo, on his part, revealed such a refinery will help revamp the local jewelry industry. The Damango MP further revealed a $450 million manganese refinery will be constructed at Nsuta in the Western region, all aimed at ensuring value addition to mineral resources.
This ultimately will advance government's commitment to diversifying our economy by reducing the heavy reliance on the export of raw minerals and fostering the establishment of local industries to promote value addition, job creation, and enhance skill development for our workforce. This refinery will also contribute significantly to our local jewelry industry. Ghanaian jewelers will now have access to responsibly sourced refined gold for their jewelry production and make it easy to hallmark such jewelry for the international market. Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Your Royal Majesty, distinguished guests, this intervention is just one of several measures being implemented by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government to ensure value addition to our mineral resources. And Mr. Vice President, I am happy to report that very soon, construction will commence on a $450 million United States dollars manganese refinery at Nsuta in the Western region. And our green mineral policy contains mandatory provisions for value addition, which are being incorporated in the agreements we are signing for the exploitation of these minerals, including lithium and bauxite.
You heard Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo. This is still the Star Breakfast News. Now, Chief Executive Officer of EIB Network, Nathan Kwabena Adesi Anochi, affectionately known as Bolare, says he envisions a transformative journey for the Starr FM brand in the next decade, promising innovations that will redefine the media landscape. The CEO also conveyed his heartfelt gratitude to the dedicated team at Starr FM for their unwavering commitment over the years. Bolare shared these sentiments ahead of the station's official 10th anniversary launch, which begins today.
We thank the staff of EIB for supporting us. I mean, Starr FM is part of the EIB group, but it's for all of us. GH1 TV, Ultimate, Empire, Ago FM, Kasapa, everybody is part of it. Ebusia FM, Ago, thank you very much for believing in the dream. To all our staff, both past and present, I don't say if you're once an EIB worker, always an EIB worker. Yeah. So for me, I'm immensely grateful. We give glory to God Almighty. We thank the staff and management of EIB for how far they've supported, being loyal to the brand. And the next 10 years, like you rightly mentioned, where we're going is going to be epic. God is going to do amazing and awesome things in our lives. The kind of team that we've assembled is second to none. So to our COO, Santok, to our general manager, Nanaya Sapon, to our HR director, Dr. Squall, to our general manager, News, Jojo, thank you. Thank you. To Spikey, to everybody, to all staff, we say thank you. And Starr FM, I tell you what, like we say, simply the best. A lot is about to happen.
And on that note, a big congratulations to all of us. Now, before we go, Parliamentary Monitoring Group Odikro is urging the majority caucus in Parliament to build a consensus with their minority counterpart as a way to coerce the Speaker to recall the House immediately. This follows Speaker Badrin's rejection of the request by the majority side to recall Parliament within 7 days under Article 112. The majority is seeking to handle pending parliamentary business, including approval of some bills and nominees. Principal lead at Odikro, Nehemiah Atiga, spoke to Star News. Let's have a listen.
In Parliament, the best way to resolve anything is to try and build consensus, which means that the leaders of both sides would have to. So majority may have to convince the minority to play ball, and then maybe they both go and see the Speaker and see how this can be resolved. Aside that, if you try to do any form of power play, everybody would then ensure that they show where the power lies, and that's where we won't have any form of conclusion in terms of getting a solution to this. So the best solution is for them to sit and discuss this thing, else we just run around in circles and not have any solution.
Nehemiah Atiga also rubbished the speaker's assertions that he cannot grant the request because of logistical constraints.
Well, it may be reasonable, but are there ways to go about this? Can they actually get work done with those renovations going on? If it's possible, then it should be considered. And think about it. I'm sure if there was an emergency right now and Parliament needed to meet to deliberate on that particular emergency, this logistical constraints might be chalked somewhere, and they will be recalled. And that's where the majority is coming from. They feel that there's some mischief or some malice in the posture of the speaker, and especially when he comes from the opposition party, or should I say the minority side. And so clearly it's as if he's trying to undermine their efforts to go through the things that they want Parliament to deliberate on and pass.
You heard Principal Lead at Odikro, Nehemiah Atiga, speaking to Star News. And on that note, we end the breakfast news this morning. When you log on to starfm.com.gh, you'll find more news update there. I am Nurein Abass. Many thanks for your company.